We're going to be doing a fast spin and a cover dry cycle in the LG DirectDrive F1496AD 6-motion washer dryer with a load of darks that's just come out of the mealer. We're going to be doing a standard spin only, so not the drying spin, on the spin only cycle, and now we're switching the machine to cover dry. And you're watching Florence Ballard A3060 on film. So for those who own an LG and you are not familiar on how to select a spin only, all you do is press the on button and you press the spin speed button. That takes you to a standard 1400 RPM cotton spin, not the drying spin. This should be the same procedure for the washing machine only as well. And we start. So the machine begins doing these tumbles. So this is when the machine will go to 1400 RPM in basically one go, but in this stage spin, rather than slowing down and distributing again. And we'll hold for about a maximum of 3 minutes, which is all we really need for a small load at 1400, which already has been spun at 1200 RPM in the mealer. There we go, pumps on. So we begin doing the small little short tumbles that we do for most spins. But we won't be doing any anti-tangles in between, so I will just be able to record this in one go. I'm hoping we don't get any balancing issues, because this cycle is known to limit the speed to 800 if it can't balance properly. And there's music, so no. What? No, see, that's going to restrict that. There's no way that's taking up on the 1400. Please don't do this. That will go to 800. That will not spin at 1400. Yeah, I knew we'd cut out. Hey. Smooth. A little bit. We should take it straight up. There is an update about this machine I have to share with you all at the end, so at the end of the video I will do that. That's 400 RPM. Sound the bloody shock absorbers make on this thing. climbing to 1200 now. When she reaches 1200. Incredibly stable though. Although it's not really that unbalanced though. We're ramping up quite fast that. 1250. That's 1400, or basically 1320, what we call it. Yeah. The machine never actually really does hit its full speed. All 3 minutes. That's all it really needs to get to be prepared for drawing. Condensation we get on that. We'll do an anti-tangle now and I'll get the machine prepared for drawing. So now that the machine's reached the end of the final spin and done the anti-tangle, I will turn the machine to cotton's to cover dry. We don't need another spin, so cancel that and I'll just press go. And you see now what the machine will do is weigh the load out. So we do little sensing tumbles. roughly think it's going to be an hour and something. It might be 2 hours knowing it for this load though. For cottons it does take longer. Probably because the jeans are in there as well. When the dry fan comes on. You tumble 30 seconds clockwise with the dry fan on, but the heating element off, and then the next tumble we engage the heating element. Click, there you go, and that's the element powering up, so we're now officially drying. Let's get closer to the machine. I find watching washer dryers in the drying cycle very therapeutic. I just love feeling it get hot and everything. Right, so we'll let this go on for a bit, and then we'll come back. I think I'll come back about midway through the drying cycle once we've heated to maximum temperature. And we do heat up quite fast. Not as fast as vintage washer dryers do, neither do we get as hot, which is why this thing does take a little longer on the drying cycle. And I've noticed that we do shut the element on and off like every 90 seconds, so it does not keep constant heat. So we have 45 minutes left on the countdown. You're wondering why it's filmed much later in the dark. I had to cut off the filming due to obviously going out of family, so I basically had to restart the entire rinse, spin and dry cycle again. So yeah. We have 44 minutes remaining on the clock, but we are of course at maximum temperature in there. You can see that the whole door glass is steamed up. As I said though, I will keep you informed about the update at the end of the video, yeah. And we've just reapplied power to the heating elements again. So we're doing the fast tumble. that click. It's the power being shut off to the element. See what I mean? This is what the machine does. This is why I think the machine takes longer to dry. It doesn't maintain steady temperature. Slow to fast tumbles now. And of course the pump comes on to drain away the condensation. You can feel how hot the machine is now, blimey. And then the click, that's the heating elements powering up again. Right, so the machine's down to 11 minutes. So hopefully on the next anti-clockwise tumble we should cut into the cool down after that, providing everything. Let's have a look. So let's have a little look if we go into the door down. That should cut down to 10 minutes. I mean, the condensation around the door has dropped down, so that does mean that the load is losing. Alright, let's have a look. 3, 2, 1. I bet it won't, because the machine's developed a habit of doing this. Nope. So, oh, we have. Okay. The machine normally tends to think the load is drier than what it actually, not realise the load is drier than what it actually is, and we keep holding at 11 minutes. And that's good then, so we are now officially cooling down. When we hit the 5-minute mark, the machine will keep the pump going continuously. What's that? That's a WMA, what is that, 34? 32. Looking on marketplace of machines. A lot of WMAs in the south coast. Yeah, it's like north one. So you type in washer dryer. What's a dishwasher got to do with it? I like the way marketplace works. What's that? Polar White WMA 64. Portsmouth. What's that? There's a Miele here. What's that? That is a WT2670. Washer dryer. It's a first edition. What's that? WM52. That's the most common one to pop up. Never see the 800 one or the 1200 one for that matter. The WM53. And that is that a WD61? Yeah, last minute. So it's been good kind of doing a video like literally just dedicated to a drying cycle, but you know, to include a spin as well. I think I might do the easy care, and definitely we've got to do the intensive 60 cycle, so it's good to incorporate that. Right, last 30 seconds, or 28 seconds now. Time to unload. That's a lot of lint there, and definitely you still get the wall of heat coming out, but everything's dried nicely. So you have not to burn myself on any of the zips or buckles on my jeans. I've done that many times. Okay, so that's going to go on a rinse out fluff after this. So guys, thank you very much for watching that. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Now, the update. Like I said, there's some people who already know this because they've seen it. For those who don't know, I have not done many videos on the LG, as you know. I have owned the machine for just over 6 months now. April the... When did I get this machine? Was it April the 9th? April the 9th I got the machine, day before my 24th birthday, and that was it. And this machine has been in, like, the longest machine I've had going. Well, apart from when I had the 9530 in for like over a year. Well, no, even the 9530 didn't even have that long on it, because that was plumbed in from October 2016 through to... Oh no, it was, sorry, the whole 2017 that was in. Until we got the A3060. But still, this is the longest machine now, pretty much, that's permanently been plumbed in, etc. You know, aside from the 9530. There's a lot of people been questioning about when we're going to see the other machines. Well, we do plan to bring the 9530 in because, as I mentioned, it is the 5th anniversary. The 14th of October was the 5th anniversary of me owning this machine. It's now going to be the 25th of October tomorrow, so I do need to bring the machine in. I don't have a dryer, as you notice. The LG is my only means of a tumble dryer. So I'm looking at getting myself, going back to square one, getting a compact dryer, but it's proved very challenging because I have to use a courier because I don't drive. A lot of sellers don't want to wait around for couriers. And a courier at the moment are more expensive because of shortage of drivers, etc. And they can never time it for my work schedule. So sometimes you pay like £40 for a compact dryer and you'd be charging like maybe 50 for a courier, especially if it's coming outside of London. I don't plan on keeping a dryer. This is just going to be until I eventually get my own place and then I get real full-size dryers to match the A3060 and the 9530. They're the only two machines I want matched, because you'll find out when the time comes why I can only have, and why I only want two dryers. But there's many people that know the reason why. So I've got to go back to having that in my room again. It might be a small Zanussi condenser dryer if I can get one, but they're quite small, the capacity on those, where they're not 3 kilogram. But the thing of finding a dryer, it has to be a 2 kilowatt heater or above, because the experience I had with the White Knight was dreadful. That was only a 1200 watt heater. That was really bad at drying, that was. The condenser dryer is good because it means I don't have to have the window open. But a front venting dryer like the Hot Point Creedus means it just vents into the room. But I do like the idea of someone's being able to see inside. I'm not too fast, I can just plug up the door open if I want to do a video. The main thing is they're fast dryers. Now, I got this machine because I wanted to be different. I'm always about vintage machines, as you know, vintage washer dryers. We all know the model I really wanted of a washer dryer was always a Hotpoint WD64 in zircon silver, and that's proved very hard to find one. I did find one about a month ago, but I lost out on it. It was quite expensive on Gumtree. It went back the next day and it had gone. It was a furniture shop selling it, so obviously it must have got sold to someone in the area. Still hunting for one, or a 9935W, but I doubt I'm going to find one of those because they're very rare. So, as you know with me, I'm very specific about models and colours. There's no sort of like compromising. I do want a Service Sapphire 9635, again, very rare to find. I doubt I'd ever go for a Creeder one because of how badly put together their machines are. I'd have a washing machine only of the super speeds, the Creeder made ones, not the Hot Point ones that I call Creeder points. Anyway, I've owned this machine and I can honestly say I'm probably going to do a review of it, but I don't know. If you don't know the thing, I have put the LG up for sale. And I'll tell you why. And Laundry Cookie can vouch for this because he has known the frustrations I've had with this machine. The machine is great. Let's do the pros and cons. The pros, the machine's absolutely great at drying. I love the idea of it being a sensor dry because it means the machine sorts out the time for me. Rather than me having to guess how long I've got to dry it for. Normally an hour and a half, but sometimes you can over dry stuff or not dry it enough. But if you've watched a lot of my videos, you'll know that the one thing that annoys me most about this machine is the out of balance sensor. It is way too sensitive. Look at Cookie's one. His one will spin most of the loads. Mine has actually aborted a spin because of it. It aborted a spin only, and it only went to 800 at once because it had to rebalance 3 times. Half the time it rebalances, even a vintage machine could spin that without jumping around. Half the times that this rebalances itself, the load could have been spun in my 9530 and it wouldn't have even moved an inch. And that's saying something because that machine throws itself around my kitchen all the time, especially the A3060 as well. I don't find the machine uses enough water. When I do a big load in there, even though I don't normally load washer dryers more than half because I always do washing and drying, but there's a couple of times I have done a dart wash that was a 5 kilogram load. Machine doesn't use enough water. That's one. The programming I think could be better. I like the 6 motions, don't get me wrong, but I think that there's a lot more that can be improved to the later ones. Mine's an early model, June 2012, whereas the Cookies is like, I think 2015 or something. I've used an October 2016 one at BHF, so my knowledge was going off of that. And that one didn't really care about balancing. That one was spinning crazily, but you know. Another thing that annoys me about this machine is the way the shock absorbers rattle. There is nothing wrong with the machine. That is what all LGs do. Even I think the Centre models do it as well. So I don't know about the Intello washers, but I know this has been a thing that all LGs have done. And that sound on a vintage machine you expect because of the age. Like the 953 does it, the A3060 rattles, but that's a characteristic. On a modern machine, this is actually a modern machine. That's why I want it to be different. I've always been anti-modern. I thought, let's be different and try a modern machine. I honestly can say I'm disappointed with it. So it's not for sale because I know that no one's going to want the machine, and I know a lot of my viewers are actually interested in this machine. Neither am I. I don't. In fact, it's the first time any machine apart from the Miele. I'm more interested in the Miele than that. Now, I've kind of outgrown the Miele, but you know, with Miele, I kind of wanted to bring her back. I use that machine a lot more because it also, I find the LG takes too long sometimes. So there's some cycles I think the wash goes on a bit too long. And of course, let's not forget the delay timer on this thing. The delay timer on this is not like, say, how I remembered my WMA64. It's not a delay start, it's a delay end. So I have to figure out how long the program's going to take and then set the timer. So let's say I wanted to do Cotton 60 with a dry and Medic rinse. That altogether is normally about, it would configure it to maybe 4 hours, and then it changes again for the drying after the spin. I have to then think, for that load, how long is that going to take? So I might have to start the cycle and then cancel it to automatically get it to, or I've got to think, okay, it might take 3 hours 37, which is what it normally throws up for me. I've then got to look at the clock and think, I have to add 3 hours 37. No, I've got to take 3 hours 37 off the time. So if I wanted to start in 8 hours, I have to set this clock for like 12 hours. So it means I don't actually know when I'm setting the machine for timer. It's a ridiculous thing that LG did. But the balance sensor on it is the thing that's really annoyed me the most. It's worse than the WD640. You might remember that machine in Australia. That thing could not even spin a pair of socks without fussing. But the LG spin I don't like. It does that constant, it does the distribute, then it's a kick up to about 150, slow back down, distribute. It might rebalance. Then it will tumble again to redistribute up to 400. Oh, I'm too unbalanced. Let's stop and redistribute. Then we actually get into the spin where we go up. and it goes 400, 600, 800. I prefer a machine that might go, start at 500 RPM, kick up to 800, then go to 1000. Say it's a 1400 machine, then it goes from 1000 to 1400. A bit like what Hotpoints do. So, I've had 2 people message me over the machine, but one person said it was too far away. The other person, maybe I made a mistake in telling them why I was selling the machine. They wanted to know why I was selling it, so I said, I want an older machine, rather than just saying we've moved house or something and like we got a separate washer and dryer. So it is sale for £150 because I paid quite a lot for this machine. I paid £135 to get it, buy it at a price, instead I made a deal, and then I paid about £30 for a courier. So, bearing in mind it was only 2 miles down the road, so yeah. But I've tried it out, and I think now I'm going to stick to just going for what I really want. I have considered a Hotpoint WD440, but I still think it's a bit too new for me. So like there's many, for anything post 2004, I kind of want it to be 1400 and above. Anything before that I don't mind, 1200, but I wouldn't go for, like, there was a Hotpoint 9901 for sale, but I've already got something from the April 86 range. It's basically the washer dryer version of the 9530, so I thought I don't want to have 2 of the same machine. So if it had to be a 99 series, it'd probably be a 9934, which is what Kai's got, the Vintage Boy 34, which is from the next range. But I don't know, we'll see. I'm sort of like, really, I did want a Miele WT2780, but I can't have a Miele because they're too heavy, because I have to take the machine in and out of the house, so it's very hard, it's impossible to move a machine over the doorstep. I remember the day we came back from Australia and this Miele came back, I had to drag the machine on its side in its wrapping over the door, and I nearly pulled a muscle doing so. So we'll just have a hunt, but I'm really only going to go for something that I'm really wanting, so I won't be disappointed and won't get rid of it. So if there is anyone that wants the link to it, if you're willing to pay 150 for it, then, because I'm not bargaining, that's actually, to be honest, I paid more for the machine, so that's kind of being a bargain. So yeah, that's the update I wanted to give you, is that the LG is going to be departing soon, so whenever I know the machine is going, then I will do one last video as a farewell to Rio. So, you know, I don't hate the machine, I just really dislike it, but it does a good job. At the end of the day, it's quiet for one, so someone wants a quiet machine. I also don't like quiet machines. I thought I'd try and give an inverter machine a go, and I don't like it. I prefer hearing a machine with loud motors. And it's got no characteristic to me, you know, the LG doesn't scare me to like the point what like the 9.5 or the Casata would do, you know, like I'm scared the machine's going to jump out at me or spin. And it just doesn't really do anything. It's the first machine I've owned on my own collection that I've happily put a wash on and gone upstairs. Now, I don't ever do that with the 9.5, the Casata or the A3060. I'll sit here for the whole cycle, film it or watch it. That's saying something really. So you guys will be seeing the 9530 and A3060 again. The A3060, I'm planning to bring that out for Christmas, because last year we had the Casata, so the A3060 would be nice to have out. So I'll do like a farewell video to this. I will do an empty service mode spin, nothing in the machine, so don't start asking me to do that, because I don't do that. I might just show that. And I think my last video may be like intensive 60 or something. Maybe I'll do low temp dry maybe or something like that, last video. But we will do a full load in the machine, because I want to see if the machine can sublock and how it handles it. So I'll try and gather something big to put in there. Maybe some blankets. But that's the update, guys, I wanted to tell you. But she's been good. She has been good, you know, I'm not going to lie. I was very excited to try a new machine out. But, nah, wasn't for me. Anyway, so hope you enjoyed the little bout of videos we've had. Yes, sadly the 9530W hasn't come back from the dead, although I do miss that machine, but I've got some parts still lying around of her. I do wish I'd taken the speed module from that machine and put it in the 9530A, because the machine would have had a more aggressive ramp up. And I think that the 9530W really had the characteristics that I remember as a kid that used to scare the hell out of me when I was a little. In fact, I think I ran into a 9530W. My neighbour had one 2 doors down. What could have been 9534, I don't know what it was. I don't know. Well, we'll see. But there will be machines coming into the collection, so yeah. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and don't forget to keep it supreme and go with the flow.